Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, there's an organization out there that I know you know the name, but you probably don't know the depth to which this organization is a part of our community. That's the Salvation Army. I don't know about you, first thing, bell ringers around Christmas time. Yep, I got it. But what have I told you? Salvation Army is a religious denomination, roots going back to 1865. And the story gets more interesting from there, trust me. Well, joining me today is someone who's been here before. This is Major David Dean. Welcome back.
Great to be here.
Very nice to have you here.
Thank
and
you.
I have to get the Major Dean to ground control joke out of the way first.
Well, David Bowie there, huh?
Yeah, that's right. David, you've been on here before. You've been involved really since seminary, right, with the
Yes.
Salvation Army.
Yes, yeah.
26 years, I think you told me.
26.
That you've been involved. For those, a lot of us don't really understand the depth of the organization.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit more about it.
Sure. Well, the Salvation Army started in London, England in 1865,
Right.
and it was started by William Booth, who was a Methodist minister. And back then, there was what they really called the high church. You really had to be rich to go to church. So the poor people were not welcome. And we were talking off air about the Industrial Revolution, how people were working in factories for 12 hours a day, women, children, pregnant women. There were no laws, no minimum wage. People were basically slaves. And he really saw the abuse that was being, heaped on people of his age, and he really wanted to do something about it. And just, if there was, drugs back then, it would have been drug abuse, but back then it was alcoholism and, just people drunk all over the streets and just living in absolute slum conditions. So he really started the Salvation Army out of a need to help people. He had a very simple motto: soup, soap, and salvation. Feed someone, clean them up, tell them about the Lord. And, he wanted to send them back to their churches, but then they wouldn't take them. So that's how the Salvation Army really morphed into its own denomination, as people weren't welcome. You actually had to pay a pew tax back then. You had to pay for the seat that you sat in church.
Wow.
In London, England. And
Isn't
it
that
was
something?
crazy. Yeah, so he's out of necessity of all these masses of people that were coming to Jesus and to faith in the Lord, he started his own denomination. Never set out to do that, but that's what happened.
Now, for instance, I'm calling it a branch, I don't know if that's the right term or not,
Sure, yeah.
of Salvation Army, covers northern Saratoga County, Warren County, and Washington County.
Yeah.
I know about the place on Broad Street in Glens Falls,
Yes.
which is where the church is,
Yes.
as well as all of your administrative offices and your food pantry.
That's right.
And then there's the outlet, which for clothing and furniture and things like that, the one I know about is on Quaker Road.
Correct.
And boy, there's so much that we could talk about here. But let's talk about the scope of services of the Salvation Army.
Sure.
Because, we know about the bell ringers and whatever, but I just alluded to the church and the food pantry and whatever.
Sure.
What are some of the outreach programs?
Well, we do, food is a huge thing in our area, in the Tri-County area. We've already served over 85,000 meals this year out of Broad Street. So we'll probably eclipse close to 95,000 meals by the time we get to the end of the year. We distribute around 20,000 at Christmas time and Thanksgiving. We do Christmas and Thanksgiving baskets where people come to us and we make up baskets appropriate to the size of the family. They take it home. They can have Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner with their family around their own dining room. Let's not send them to a shelter. Let's not send them to a church or something that's just serving a meal. Let them eat at home with their family. That's what the holidays are all about.
Yes.
Then we come into the first of the year and we have the soup kitchen where we feed people every Tuesday night. We get a lot of young adults. We get a lot of kids. A lot of kids were there last Tuesday, enormous amount of kids. And then we have our food pantry, which operates Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And for people that, again, off air, we talked about people that, just one little thing, one blip on the radar screen, and people are short. So do you pay the rent, the car payment, the medical insurance? Do you buy food for the kids? What do you do? So we do food. We did 3,000 meals out of our pantry in the month of July, and we do that almost every single month of the year. So when you add all that up, and then with our free food program we have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we've done over 40,000 meals so far this year. So we're already pushing close to 90,000 meals just out of our location. So food's always been a biggie for the Salvation Army historically.
Yes, you know what? Think about the numbers that he was just rolling through. I mean, the communities we live in here are not that big. And when you're starting to talk about 90,000, that's really quite a dent. And of course, you are talking about families. Sure. Now, the reason that we wanted to go down this path with this conversation is that there's a real need here. And all you car dealers out there, you have to pay attention for a second. The Salvation Army needs a cargo van. Last time they got a van, I think it's down to 1 gear, you said?
We got low gear, and we got ball joints that are bad, and it's got 300,000 miles to boot. So not looking for a new van. Just something that'll run, even a small box truck, 10-foot panel truck, 12-foot. We pick that food up. All those meals, we pick up every single one of those meals.
Yes, I want to just mention that the reason that they have this truck, it's not like Meals on Wheels or something like that. They actually go to the Hannafords and the Price Shoppers and the Market 32s and wherever the food is, and the second that food legally hits an expiration date, the Salvation Army takes that food, which of course is still very, very good food in good condition. They bring it back to the Salvation Army headquarters, and it's distributed from there. Well, right now they don't have a way to even do that, and obviously you heard that the need is there to feed these individuals and feed these families. So please, you can contact the Salvation Army in Glens Falls. It's right on Broad Street, and you know a friend that's got a cargo van, you've got one. If you're a car dealer and it's sitting out in the back of the lot there, you're not sure what you're going to do with it, well, the Salvation Army really needs it. Well, David, thank you very much for coming in. It's great to see you. Yeah. And let's see if we can get that cargo van, especially before the bad weather starts coming for the winter.
We need it by early September, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got it. Good. Okay. And you're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Remarkable organization, and you're a remarkable pastor.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dave. Okay, see this interview again. You can head to our website, looktvonline.com.